All right, I have to just practice saying the word apothecary, right?
Yeah.
Apothecary. I have such trouble saying that word, so I figured if I start with it, at least I can get it out of the way.
You can just say Rogers Hood as well. You can
Ah,
say either. I know it took me, and Western medicine, we don't use the word apothecary, but it took me a few tries when I first went viral to say the word apothecary. People would correct me, and I'm like, listen, I'm doing my best, okay?
you named your company with a word that you couldn't even pronounce. How about
Now
that?
I
Yeah.
can. Yeah. When
Yeah.
it was like the first 6 months, I'm like, apothecary, because I wanted to call it apothecary. And you're like, no, it's apothecary.
Yeah, it's a very well, why is it looked at as like an outdated word in the medical community?
I mean, it's crazy, right? Because that's how all medicine began, is in an apothecary with herbs and soaking them and dehydrating them and taking them in teas. Like a tea is from an apothecary. So it's kind of a strange thought process how we just make that word so taboo, but it's a really pretty word. I think it's prettier than pharmaceutical.
I was going to say what word has replaced it? Is it pharmaceutical?
Yes, the pharmacy has replaced that word because of the fact that they actually used similar DNA structures of the plant to synthetically make medications with petroleum. That was what happened in 1924.
So apothecary is really more on the what is it, holistic based,
Yes,
natural remedy type things, and then just to describe how do you define that word?
it's a natural herbal based.
Herbal.
It's all broken down because it's a Latin word. So each one of those sections means something. So all they did was just rename it with Western medicine in order for them to be able to sell their product instead of herbs. You can't patent an herb. You can't patent a plant.
Mm. So apothecary, okay, we got that out of the way. And then I have to ask you, worm queen. Okay, this is a lot easier. This is a lot easier to say, worm queen. Okay, where did you come up with this one?
Well, I was crowned the Worm Queen in 2021 when I went viral
Congratulations.
on TikTok. Thanks. Thanks. I wanted something fun. I mean, who wants to run around being called the Worm Lady,
You
right?
were crowned it. I interrupted you. You were crowned on TikTok. You went viral
Mhm.
on TikTok. Is that what you said?
Yeah. So in 2021, I went viral on TikTok over a parasite cleanse. Like, not a little viral. I had an account that had around 10,000 followers at the time. I was teaching people about mushrooms because I'm a mushroom grower, and also how I was building my log home and living out on the land while doing it. So then my health was declining rapidly, and I couldn't figure out what was going on with me through Western medicine. So I turned to social media to kind of help navigate that for me.
Mm.
And I found a parasite cleanse. I did it. I saw flukes, roundworm, and pinworms in the toilet within 3 days. I knew that was a root cause of my problems with my health. I almost died in 2019 because of all of this. So I ended up finding this one $30 Amazon parasite cleanse through a company that, that's all it is. It's just a parasite cleanse, nothing else.
Hmm.
So I did the cleanse, I saw the worms, and then I went immediately to my TikTok account and I said, I've been in Western medicine for over 18 years and I've never dewormed myself until now. And everyone just stopped. And I got 10.6 million views on that video. And at one point with TikTok, before they got wise, I had 40 to 50 million viewers a month.
Whoa.
It was wild. And it was in 21. So, people were still in lockdown. We weren't really understanding, people weren't understanding their body. I come from this world. I ran 25 medical colleges throughout my career. I've written books. I've been a professor. So, really, in the grand scheme of things, I was always a specialist in the Western medicine field. So now, I mean, it just was a natural progression for me to go in and start an apothecary and learn about herbs. And then I started my own company and my own cleanse because I wasn't getting transparency from some of the companies I was talking about, and I was selling them out and I needed more information and they wouldn't give it to me. So I was like, well, that's it. I'm going to do this myself. I'm going to see how I can do it. And I partnered up with someone in Arkansas. That's why we're in another state because she's in Arkansas. I do one side of the business, she does the other side of the business, which is make the tinctures. And then we built a 14,000 square foot manufacturing facility that we make everything ourselves.
That's incredible. So when you were posting this stuff in 21,
Hmm.
you were not in this line of work yet. You were basically just saying, or was it, yeah, was it 21? You were not in the line of work. You're basically just saying, hey, here's an update on you're showing building your log cabin home,
Hmm.
all this regular life stuff behind the scenes. So you had a little following, 10,000. But and then all of a sudden you said, I'm going to share this vulnerable state of my health.
Yes,
And
I'm
this
going to
video gets 10 million plus views.
like overnight.
Like overnight, 10 million views. What did that do to your following? Do you remember?
Yeah, I went to 210,000 in 2 days.
So you gained 200,000 in 48 hours.
Yes, it was wild. TikTok at the time had just
You probably
started, you
couldn't
know?
sleep. You're probably like, whoa,
Oh my,
what am I
what?
going
I
to do? What am I going
didn't.
to do with this? We have to capitalize on this. This is
I
crazy.
didn't. 4 years I didn't sleep. Just this year. Just
She's
I've
finally
done this.
sleeping. That's great.
I've done this every day. I've talked about this every day for almost 2,000 days.
You've talked about this parasite cleanse, this type of stuff every single day.
Yes, I started talking about my Parasite cleanse. Then I got mold poisoning a year later. We found out in the midst of all of this. So then I created a moldies kit because environmental toxins are not talked about. Then I found out in 23 that I actually had chronic Lyme, undiagnosed for 30 years, which
Wow.
contributed to most of my health issues.
Which
I
is
had a
devastating, right?
hysterectomy.
That's the
Oh,
silent killer.
devastating.
Yeah.
It is. It was devastating. And so that's what happened to me in 2019 when I was slowly dying. We actually said our goodbyes, my husband and me, and moved out to that land so he would be mortgage and debt free when I died
All
because
right.
things were not looking good for me.
I want to get
So,
into this, the medical side of this and all your ailments and things to overcome. But before we do, just to go back to the social media thing and because I'm
mhm.
on your TikTok, I don't see the video is not pinned, is it?
No, but you can just type in, it used to be pinned. You can just type in Worm Queen
It'll just come
Parasite.
up. It'll
It
come up.
should.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
worm.
somewhere amongst all of that. I mean, I've been doing it for, I mean, I make a video every day and I post on that account 2 to 5 times a day because that's what TikTok requires.
What did you say when you said you made a comment that TikTok got why you were getting 40 or 50 million views and then you said and then TikTok got wise. What do you mean?
They don't want you to heal. They don't want wellness in their world. And in 22, I actually caused them to change their community guidelines. And it said you can no longer talk about parasite cleansing. And then Queen of Thrones, who does castor oil, hers is in there too because they think that I'm diagnosing, but I'm only talking about what's gone on with my body and what herbs have helped me. I never give medical advice. I'm just like using my own problems and what I've done. It's funny because I was a licensed medical specialist. I saw patients for 18 years, you know. I'm from this world. So I'm not giving medical advice. I'm giving my knowledge and allowing other people to decide what's best for them and how they can go about it. If I would have had this option in 2004 when I had a hysterectomy, I wouldn't have probably had it. I would have tried everything first and then gone ahead and done what needed to be done for my body. There's so many like after effects that I have because of that. And so I just really don't want people to have to go through that. They need the education, they need this knowledge.
So TikTok started visibly suppressing all your videos.
Oh, very much. Yeah. I mean, I have 600,000 follows over there, and some of them only get 1,000 views. So, I mean, that's
Right.
full blown suppression.
And
Like
you
you
and
clearly
but it
can see
hasn't
it.
stopped you. You've said you've done a video every single day,
I've done a
regardless
video
of
over
whether it
there.
gets 2,000 views or 2 million views.
That's right. I don't care how many views it gets because that's people that haven't seen my videos before, that haven't gotten this information before. Then I rolled that over to Instagram and I got 425,000, actually 426 today followers over there. I have a podcast called What's Eating You. So as Instagram started to kind of suppress me, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to start a podcast next. So now I'm over
Good
on
for you.
YouTube with a podcast with like 40,000 and then
Oh,
my
wait. If
company.
Instagram and TikTok have suppressed you, YouTube, YouTube will do their best to do the same. I have no doubt
Yep.
about it. But
They have one
I think
time.
that's I
One
actually
time YouTube did. Just once. So we've been
they
pretty
did
happy
one
with
time.
that. Yeah.
Well, I got to tell you, I think that there's something admirable about that kind of dedication and commitment. Because I think that, most people see it and number one, they think it looks easy when they see other people that have these followings and that have had this success in the online space. And then there's people like you that have to put all the time, sweat, energy, resources into the content and then hope that the phantoms behind the other side of the web are pushing your stuff out there. And when
Yep.
it doesn't get pushed out there after all that hard work, that could be a very demoralizing thing for people. That actually gets people to quit doing it.
I'll never quit. I'll never quit. My goal is to have affordable, available, accurate testing for all of Western medicine to decide if you have parasites, mold, and Lyme before you do anything crazy to your body. That's my goal. I've been doing this now with podcasting. I This is probably my 250th episode. I've gone on Dr. Will Cole's, Dr. Josh X. I feel so pulled to this. We're working in our manufacturing facility to go into stores. That's a whole feat when you start like we started. I mean, we literally started in a 175 square foot little shop in the back of my partner's house. And
Mm.
then we moved into a 2,400 square foot and now we're in 14,000. So as we're growing, we're just building because it's so important to bring this back into our lives. I mean, it's a simple cleanse. It's a simple way for you to move heavy metals out, candida, worms. I mean, we eat sushi, salmon, I mean, we're out there living our lives and we're
Yeah.
just not told about this. And so everything else I do is free. I only charge for my kit. I have like 10 free ebooks. So if you want to learn about lymphatic drainage, how to eat on this, I don't charge for any of it. It's so important to me. This is my mission here on earth is to help others feel better and understand their body before anything drastic like what happened to me. I mean, it altered my whole life. I don't have children. I'll never have children. My husband and I, we don't have any children. So, not that I think if I had, I wouldn't be here, right? So that's the way I see it. But it's important. After 2020, I feel like you guys kind of got sold a bill of bad goods. And that's not fair for people to not have some knowledge, at least to start to look at how these things could be affecting you and how easy it is. Other countries do this. Why aren't we doing it?
Well, it's not easy going against Big Pharma, is it, Kim?
No, it's really been hard.
Yeah.
You're the
Yeah.
first person to ever ask me that, by the way. It's been hard. I've been banned. I've had 26 accounts in the last 5 years, and I just create new ones. We now have 1.5 million followers across all of our platforms. So I'm not
Wow,
going to stop.
you are that there's inspiration to take in that alone. Forget all this health stuff, which is the most important. That's the mission, and that's what you're selling, and that's what you're providing the value to people. But just that kind of grit and grind, and not letting the other people suppress you. I
Yeah.
think there's a lot of value there.
Thanks.
That's not
Thanks.
easy. That's not easy to do. I'm sure you've had those moments where you're going, "Oh God, is this even worth it?" We had a video that should have gotten, if that one got 100,000, this one should have gotten 10 million because you were so proud
Right.
of the video, and it gets suppressed down to 5,000. I'm
It
sure you've
it
had those
does.
moments.
There have been moments, but you want to know what it just makes me do even more? I go
It
harder.
makes you hungrier.
I keep going. Show me. Show me you know better than what I'm saying. I also am still chronically ill. So in the back end of all of this, when I'm done with my job at the end of the day, I'm still taking care of my health. I still have chronic Lyme. I still have PTSD from medical neglect. Like I still have these problems, but I'm in a much better space. So as I'm doing what I'm doing and like helping my problems, helping my issues, helping that label to be symptom free, I'm showing people now. I'm bringing my cameras in to show people what acupuncture looks like and IVs and red light. I have a cold plunge in my house. Like all of the things I've done have set it up for me to be able to continue to take care of myself while helping other people take care of themselves.
Beautiful. Um, yeah, actually, you had mentioned podcasts you've been on. I saw a clip. I think my wife likes the one that what's that girl's name? Alexa Apothec. Again, I'm
Oh,
gonna
Alex Clark. Yeah, she's great.
Alex. That's right.
Yeah, love
Alex
her.
Clark.
The
She's got a
Maha
big
movement.
podcast. Yeah,
Yeah, she does. We went real viral last year on hers.
nice.
I think the clip started out.
What was the clip that went most viral? Do you remember? She's laughing.
Oh, what is
uh,
this about Scotch tape? Is it working? Are you supposed to really do that? If you put Scotch tape on your bum at night during a full moon because you have itchy butt, the pinworms come out and attach the eggs to the Scotch tape. You then take that Scotch tape off your butt and you take it to the doctor who's going to say, you have pinworms. Here's one round of pinworm medicine. You're good. But see, they also don't explain that you need a binder and you need to do it again because they lay eggs on the way out. And pinworms are notorious for infestation. They also should x ray or CT or MRI your appendix because that's where pinworms live. And so a lot of people that have apodectomies, it's because they have a pinworm infestation. And none of us knew about that in Western medicine. You can't just take one round of medication and think it's enough when you have enough pinworms that are coming out of your butthole on the tape. And you go to the doctor and they're like, oh, yeah, you should be able to go to the doctor and be like, listen, I think I've got pinworms. I'm not putting Scotch tape on my butt. I got serious itchy butt throughout the full moon or just every day. Could you give me something? And then could we continue the process until my itchy butt goes away? Then you need to come in with an herbal cleanse like Parafy and actually follow up because not only have you disrupted those pinworms, but you probably have other worms in your body that now you need to go in and target. And when they die, they drop heavy metals, candida, spores, bacteria, viruses. So it's much more than just taking a medication. You have to bind, you have to support, you have to understand that you probably have more than that in your body. And that's why I
Right.
do it with a smile because it's so crazy. It's so crazy. No one wants to talk about it,
My
but
gosh. My gosh. Well, modern medicine, that really is modern medicine's business model. It's here, take this. I just said this the other day with someone. Take this short-term solution for a lifetime problem,
yep,
and good luck. We'll see you next time. I mean,
yep.
that's dumbing it down, but that's what it is.
Well,
And you,
we learned in college that you find the medicine and the symptom at the same time. It wasn't critical thinking like what I've had to do over the last few years of learning all of this. I've always been a huge critical thinker. I've always been very smart. But when it came to this, there's some sort of a frequency it's so taboo in first world countries to think we can have worms. I got worms from my water in Hoodsport while I was building my log home. That's one way I caught worms. I had cryptosporidium parvium and I had roundworm.
you
And
caught
then
worms from buying crypto? I'm just kidding.
I
I'm just
wish.
kidding.
Wouldn't I
I'm
be
just kidding,
rich?
Kim. I'm just kidding. That'd be pretty scary too.
Oh my
Watch the
God.
crypto market tanks after listening to this episode.
They're like, wait, you'll get worms from buying crypto?
Buying crypto? Holy shit. We better go back to the stock market. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I had
No,
to,
it's so
go
great. I
go
love
ahead
it.
though.
Don't be sorry. We got to
What was
joke
that
about
called?
it.
Crypto. What was that name of that?
Cryptosporidium parvium. It's
Crap.
parvo. It's what kills puppies.
Ah,
Yeah, and people think you can only get it from puppies, but really you get it from still standing water that the dogs drink out of, and then they pass it to each other, and then they have puppies, and it's microscopic, so it gets on their fur, and you can have one puppy kill another puppy. As a human, you can actually unalive the puppy too, because most of this is microscopic. So it's not like when you're taking the Parafy kit, you're pooping and all these worms come out, right? It's microscopic. So unless you're in there digging, which we've got diggers, that's what we call them. And then I had to send all of my testing off to Mexico because our labs here are terrible. They just don't know what to look for. And then they mark it negative. Then the insurance comes and says, oh, wait, you're not going to get approved for this very expensive medication. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's like $500 or $600 a pill. I needed to get some antiparasitics through Western medicine because I bridge both. I use both of them. And we had such a severe infestation due to our water in Hoodsport, Washington, that we had to get on pharmaceuticals as well as herbs. So we rotated them. And they wanted to charge $24,000 for a month's supply of antiparasitics for me and then $24,000 for my husband. And because we didn't have a lab that actually said from this country through Western medicine that actually said we were positive, they denied it. And then I had to send my stool to Mexico. The same stool, by the way, that I sent to LabCorp, I sent to Mexico through parasites.org. And Mexico came back and said, you got crypto, you got roundworm, your husband has D. fragilis, you have terrible candida in your gut. And so I was able to take those labs to my doctor, and she got mine approved, but couldn't get Jeremy's approved, my husband. And so my mother-in-law went to Mexico and spent $7 and then shipped them to us.
Was this in 21?
21 and 22, and it was because of the whole Ivor thing going on. It was like, oh, all of these things were happening with that word, and so it really attached to it. But since then they still don't approve it,
Are you
and that's
talking
the
about the
way.
word that ends in mectin?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
What a crazy time that was. What a
totally
joke. What an
crazy.
absolute joke.
Oh my God, I got in so much trouble. I lost an account because I tried to talk to people about how to do this. You can
The
use
proper
Ivor.
way.
You can
Right.
use Ivor for lice. Like I worked in the field.
It's the
You
most,
know,
it is the most incredible drug of all in the history of the planet Earth, at least from what I've seen.
but you still have to bind, by the way. So that's the problem with it is that it's a great drug, but you still have to support because it's doing the same things just faster than herbs.
Right.
So you still have to take a binder, which is a negatively charged herb like charcoal, clay, fulvic, cinnamon. Our binder's called cinnamon. It's Ceylon cinnamon and coconut activated charcoal. So it's a negatively charged herb that acts like a magnet to pull out positively charged toxins. So you
Hmm.
still have to do that with Ivor. And that's
Sure.
something that's missing out there. And because of all of this taboo and controversy, they missed a big part of it when they tell you to take Ivor or take an antiparasitic, Fenbend. You still have to bind because what's happening is you're killing off the worm. It's dumping all the crap it's holding. It can hold 6 to 8 times its weight in heavy metals, spores, mold, which is spores,
The
bacteria,
worm itself, you're
viruses.
saying.
Yes.
How
And
how
so
large are these worms?
some of them are small, like a thread worm's really skinny, like a thread.
Hmm.
But what happens is it's inside of this thing called biofilm. So it's hard. And what Ivor does is it goes in and it breaks that, exposes them, they come out, and then you off them, right? With herbs, you're doing the same thing. You got to come in and bring a biofilm buster. So that in mine, it's lungwort lichen, and it's in our tincture metal flush. So it's going in and it's burning the house down, exposing everything in the house, and then each one of the herbs I chose, because it's a frequency, picks them off. So
Oh.
you got heavy metal, cilantro. The frequency of cilantro is the ailment heavy metal. So you go in and you pick it off.
When you say
Sustain.
bind, that's what they're doing. They're binding to it and pulling, basically,
Yes.
pulling them out.
Yes.
Okay.
But you have to support your liver because it's being taxed differently than it used to be, right? You have to support your kidneys. You have to go in there and use herbs that are going to support your body while it's going into a killing phase. You can't stay in a killing phase. You can't be in the killing phase. You have to support and kill at the same time. That's what's being missed. So I fully support synthetics. I take them as well. I take them a couple times a year. I feel so much better. My skin clears up. That's why I went so viral because I had worms come out my skin and my urine. And that's so unusual. And people kind of stopped and thought, wait a minute, this chick is saying these words. I don't even believe it.
Wow. All right, let's get into some of this a little bit deeper. So you said that you had Lyme, you discovered you had Lyme disease for 3 decades.
Yep. In 2023, I found out I had Lyme, but I was bit by ticks in like when I was 11 and I'm 47 now. So,
And your whole life you lived with what, sluggishness, ailments, sick, fatigue,
yep, I've been
depression, all this
chronically ill.
stuff.
Yep, I was put on, my dad was military, so, we had access to any new things they said, that were so great. So I was put on some anxiety meds when I was in my teens. I had behavioral issues because mine actually got aggravated from being around mold, and we didn't know any of this, right? So I ended up, going through most of my life still being a really high performer. I hold two healthcare degrees. I was valedictorian in both of those degrees. But in the back end, I'm having like a personal, constant struggle with, am I crazy? Like, why does my body hurt so bad? I would see my surgeries because they tape most of my surgeries that I had. I would look and I would see unusual looking oblique things inside of my tissue, and I would ask about it and I'd be gaslit. They always just want to put you on medication.
What would they
Oh,
say?
it's
What would be an
stress.
example? I'm sorry, Kim. What would be an
Oh, it's okay.
example? You would say, "Hey, what is that stuff in there? I'm concerned. Maybe there's inflammation. Whatever you're seeing on the screen." And when you say gaslit, what would be a typical response?
It's inflammation, it's scar tissue. This
Oh,
is
they're
what you're going
basically
to
saying
have.
it's just normal. Everyone sees this type of stuff.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
just normal. And I'd look at them and I'd be like, but, I haven't gone poop in a month. Something's going on with me. Could you give me some advice on what to do? Try some psyllium husk. And I'm like, that's not enough. And then I would do my best to help my patients find more information than what my colleagues were helping me find. Because, like, I know about lion's mane and turkey tail, like, I know about mushrooms and I know about that from being in the field. So I would help kind of put them into it. But when you have a license, you're in a box and you're not allowed to go outside of that box. You've been told what you can and cannot say when you're a practitioner or I was a licensed medical specialist. I'm in a box. And as soon as I started going viral, I let my license go because I didn't want to be in that box anymore. They can't come after you in the same way if you let your license go.
Okay, so the Lyme disease thing was, and was that what led to all the other ailments that you were dealing with in 2019 when you had all the metals and the worms? Do you think you kind of said that the Lyme disease was like the foundation for all your health problems, which may have led to some of your body being susceptible to being
Yes.
penetrated by these other things?
What Lyme does is it's a mirror that goes in front of your immune system. So the immune system is mirrored itself and it's like, I'm healthy. Cool, man. I'm going to put my defenses down. But all the while behind that mirror is Lyme and mold and parasites and heavy metals and candida wreaking havoc on your body. And it's basically gaslit your immune system to think, I'm good. I don't need to go and fight all of this stuff. Oh, wait, what am I fighting? Because it can't see it, because that's how these environmental toxins are evaders, because they just know how to hide deep into your tissue, your muscle, and your blood. A lot of people will get live blood analysis. That's where they draw your blood and they look at it immediately under a microscope and they'll see worms in it because they're inside of our cells. When you have mold, it colonizes in your body just like on the wall. When you have Lyme, it's a spirochete, just like in MS and Lyme and no, syphilis. Syphilis is cousins. They're both spirochetes that burrow deep down into your muscle. Then they coat themselves with a biofilm so your body can't see it. The biofilm's the mirror. So your body's like, I'm so confused. I don't know which thing I should grab first. I don't know how to handle this because I don't even know what it is. So your body starts attacking itself because it doesn't know what's going on. That's what an autoimmune is.
Wow. So, okay, so how are how are you contracting the heavy metals and the candida and all that kind of stuff? Do you know where it all came from?
Hmm. So, heavy metals are in our food. It's a natural occurrence in the world. But when it becomes in an overabundance or it's really in like the meats that we're eating, the way that we're breathing out there. I mean, all of the trails that are going on that
My,
people
my wife
may
will
or
really
may.
love this episode. I'll tell you
Oh,
that.
yeah. Hi to your wife.
Every time I look at her, she's looking up in the sky
Heck yeah.
to see what they're doing today.
It's a thing, they really just need to be honest because we already all know that something's going on. For me, I had mercury amalgams in my mouth because I have, my molars are a little roughed up from, I had to be on chemo for my endometriosis. And so all of those things are putting heavy metals in your body. You take pharmaceuticals, those have heavy metals to weight down what they're trying to have you absorb. You have to do heavy metals into the body in order to weight all of this down. So we should be going in and just really assisting our body to push those heavy metals out with things like cilantro. And then, candida is just an overgrowth of yeast. We all get it, especially around the holidays. But when it gets out of control because you haven't helped suppress it down and tell it who's boss, using something like Sustain, which has Oregon grapefruit, usnea, you can take that as like a digestive aid and you won't have those sugar cravings. I get salt. My worms like salt. My candida like salt. So I'm a big salt lover. So, really, if you think about just suppressing it. That's the whole purpose of this is just know what's going on. You're not craving the sugar and the salt. Your worms or your candida are, and you can tell it who's boss by giving it some herbs and suppressing in the symptoms down so that you're not going to the next level. Once it becomes systematic, that's when it's the hardest. It gets in your cells, it causes skin issues like eczema and psoriasis. It gets into your joints, it causes pain. So, really, if you're really having a lot of these symptoms, doing a cleanse within 30 days, you're going to go, oh my God, let me look at these herbs. Okay, cilantro, heavy metals, that was probably affecting me. All right, so Oregon grapefruit suppresses candida. That might have been an issue for me. Oh, I'm
Mm.
pooping out some flukes because I eat sushi 2 to 3 times a week. That could be a problem here. Now I'm going to do this 3 to 4 times a year. Other countries cleanse. We just don't.
And then you also said that it could be as simple as just drinking water
Drinking water.
or still water. You were just how some of these molds or some of these things could just attack your body just from drinking water, correct?
Yeah, I mean, we had multiple different nematodes in our water in Hoodsport because our country doesn't test our water. It doesn't test our water for
So a lot of
nematodes.
people think, oh, it's just sink water or a
Don't drink
water
tap water.
fountain, water faucet fountain.
No,
It's dangerous, isn't it?
it's very dangerous. We've got pharmaceuticals in there. You have heavy metals in there. You have, I mean, we have birth control in there, like people's hormones are being dysregulated because of tap water. But the biggest thing that I have found, because I send my water to Mexico twice a year, everywhere I've lived. So I've lived since this has all happened. I've moved 4 times, and everywhere we go, we test the water because of the fact that Seattle's water has nematodes in it. Hoodsport water has nematodes. Seattle is a city that has nematodes in their water. You shower in it, you absorb 2 cups of water every 15 minutes that you're in it and everything in it. So you're absorbing this. And I figured it out because I wasn't getting like to the better level I should have been for as much as I was cleansing. And I was reading my comments. That's how I learned a lot. And then I went down to the wormhole and like researched everything they were saying, other countries, medicine. I know what Germany does. I know what the Amish do. Wells are the worst. And it didn't click with me when I worked in an ER. People would come into the ER and they would have 10 times. So it would be 10 days worth of stomach cramps and stomach issues. The first thing we would say to them is, do you have a well?
Mm.
Well, it's because you're not filtering your water. You have to filter your water to a 5 or smaller micron filter in order to remove these environmental toxins. A nematode is the size of 40 micron.
And guys,
40
when Kim
micron.
says nematode, people are going, what? That's a
It's a
round worm.
worm.
That's a
It's a
worm.
it's a physical worm. So the word parasite stands for anything that feeds off a host. And in Latin term, it's anything that's an unwanted dinner guest. That's the definition of parasite. Then you have different levels, right? Protozoas, which are single cell organisms that can wreak havoc on your body, like Giardia, D. fragilis, and Crypto. They then absorb your nutrients and they feed themselves and then they mass produce. Then you have nematodes, which are physical worms, flatworm, roundworm, tapeworm, which 3 out of 5 people have a tapeworm, by the way. Statistically, the CDC, which has never changed this number, to be honest with you, since around 2020, say that only 60 million people in the United States have parasites, including physical worms, but they've never updated that. And that's only positive tests that came from LabCorp or Quest. My test from Mexico with a worm queen doesn't even count in that 60 million because I wasn't tested positive with the same stool as I was in
What do
Mexico.
you think the real number is, if you had to guess?
95% of us because none of us have cleansed and
So
we eat
300 plus
questionably.
million, 300 and some
Yes.
million.
3.5 billion in the world.
Mm.
3.5 billion. So
So
that's
almost
tested.
half the world.
Half the
If
world.
there's 8 billion people plus or minus.
Yep. It's crazy, right? And all it
Wow.
is a simple thing. And I mean, you can go into the politics of it. Like, they don't want us to be well. I don't always believe that because I come from that world and that was never my intention was to not know this. I just didn't know. And I have to stay in a box.
Right.
I could not leave. I worked in neurology and endocrine. I helped with creating Tysabri for MS patients to get once a month IVs. I had to stay in the box. You can't
Yes.
you can't go out of the box. I went out of the box and I found out MS patients have tapeworms. They have spiked proteins. There's so many things that's just being suppressed by the steroid. You know what I'm saying? Because the steroid stops the movement, it suppresses them. That's what makes them feel better. But if you go in and you do this in conjunction with, not medical advice, but my own personal experiences, when I add this into my protocols, game changer, game changer. Why not just do a little bit of herbs to help with your symptoms? And if you start to feel better, start looking what the herbs are actually doing and put two and two together and use critical thinking.
Well, this is a good segue into the naysayers because you said you were put in a box.
Hmm.
So there's a lot. Excuse me, a lot of people online who have had great success and have had positive experiences with your stuff and other kits and cleansers and all these things. But then you have the other side of the aisle, the folks that call this pseudoscience. And
Sure.
one microbiologist, this is quoted from the Daily Beast, called this trend of social media parasite cleansing a pseudoscience gibberish, quote unquote,
Hmm.
and questioned claims that most people even need parasite cleanses. Why that kind of stance, do you think?
They're full of worms. Worms can hijack your brain and make you think you don't have them because they don't want to die. It's not pseudoscience. It really is science because wormwood has been proven to rid parasites.
So you're under the belief that if we give that microbiologist an exam,
Yeah,
there's going to be a whole lot of worms inside that individual.
100%. 100%. I've seen it time and time again. I've been doing this for 4 years every day, and I've sold over 350,000 kits worldwide. We ship these worldwide. I mean, I am so dedicated to this that we literally custom build everything we do because there's nothing out there like this. We soak our own herbs. I know which herbs are the best herbs to use. That's all I'm doing. I'm just taking those herbs that Mother Nature gave us and I'm utilizing them in medicine for ways that people can take the tinctures. Yeah,
We've
he's
uh
full of
we've
worms.
we've some people say they're full of shit. Some people say they're full of worms. Maybe it's a
Yeah.
mix of both when you have all that going on.
Well,
Uh,
worms cause you to be constipated, so you definitely are full of shit and worms in the same
oof, that's
sentence.
not a fun combination, Kim.
No, man.
That
I've
is not
had
a
it.
fun
I've been in the
combo.
combo. I denied it as well. I mean, at the beginning, I had some crazy cysts in my body they wanted to biopsy, and they went away. Things like that just don't go away unless it's a migration of something moving in your body because that's what they do. They move.
Mm.
Like that's what the whole full moon thing is. This is their that's their time to create new communities in your body because your serotonin is up. They get on that serotonin river, then they start to migrate throughout the body, causing you to then get sicker, crazier because your serotonin is being eaten and your melatonin is being dropped. So your body can't function. And that's why you're crazy during the full moon if you're full of worms. And that, in the ER, it was like, oh God, get ready. It's a full moon. Like no one would say it. We would all
Yeah.
come in quiet, like,
It's going to be
and
one
then
of
I
those
lived
kind
in
of nights.
Seattle.
Yeah.
I lived downtown Seattle. I saw it. I saw it happening. I saw people getting crazy during the full moon out on the streets. I lived on this one street called the Blade. It's like this the worst. They built these beautiful luxurious skyscrapers right in front of the worst open drug market street on 3rd and Pike. They built these beautiful apartments that looked over that. So I would watch, right? Because this is my world. And I'd be like, I want to see it. I want to see if this is legit. I have video footage of how crazy people got during the full moon on that street.
Mm, that's fascinating. Guys, we've linked it here in the show notes, the Purify kits. There's multiple types and versions, and you can go to the link and see more about Melissa's company, Rogers Hood, and look at these different products real quickly. The normal, your kind of your classic Purify kit.
Hmm.
It's Purify, Sustain, and Metal Flush. Is that correct? With the
Correct. Three.
Cinnabon, and
Yep.
that's
Three
what is it like?
tinctures in a
15
binder.
by 3. Talk to us about those. 15 by 3, I think it was.
Yeah, it's 15 drops a day or zero point 0.5 ml. We have droppers that are custom made for us, so you know what line. And then, so it's 15 drops 3 times a day, and then you bind at night. We include instructions. We answer every DM, every comment, every email. There's also 10 free ebooks inside of my website that are downloadable. One, and we put them out every other month so that you have information on exactly where to start and what to do and how to do it when you're in it. We have group cleanses. We really just are here to hold your hand during this really crazy scenario, but it's one of the easiest kits because it's tinctures. So you can add it to tea, water. We're good for ages 3 and up. We have nut free options. We ship worldwide. And if you can't take capsules, you can open the capsules and add those to applesauce because some kids can't take capsules. This needs to be something that's an everyday thing. We really, our goals is to be a household name for cleansing. I created 2 other types of cleanses. One's a lymph kit to help move your lymphatic system prior to the Parify kit, and you can take it during and you can take it after. Our goal by the end of this year is we want to be an Air One. We're working on being FDA compliant, which we're compliant now, but you have to get a certification to submit to the FDA. We've already had the FDA come to us. They're working with us closely. They really like what we're doing, shockingly enough, right? They have
Great.
approved everything that we've done so far. And then once we get this one certification, which we should have in the next 2 months, then our goal is to be inside of stores.
Oh, that's beautiful stuff. Guys, take a look at the links. Hey, according to Kim's estimates, at least 9 out of 10 people listening to this podcast probably could use some kind of cleanse. I mean, it doesn't always have to mean that your body's fully hijacked and that you can't get off the couch. I mean, there's many different levels to this whole thing.
Yes, that's a
Last
good way to
question
say
for you.
it.
I have to ask, with all this alpha gal syndrome talk that's going on, and the conspiracy theorists are
Mhm.
out there that they're going to release another, the next attack is going to be through ticks. What's your take on this whole thing?
I believe that this was already released. It's just being put under a microscope now for everyone to see. I believe that when you get Lyme, your brain functions in a different way, and that way can be scary to certain entities that are out there. I know when I'm in a Lyme flare, my mind does not work at the highest capacity. I've done a lot of mushrooms, I've done a lot of like opening up my realms to see what I should be doing. This was a huge download for me about cleansing and what was wrong with my body. And I believe that when you have certain frequencies put inside of your body, like Lyme, that causes you to not work at your highest capacity and reach what you need to reach. And that's scary for them. We're waking up fast, right? We're cleansing our bodies out. This was the first thing that was told to me in 2020 when I started to take mushrooms on a daily basis to help me. I used to grow them. We knew they would save me. That's why I pay homage to the Amanita. That's her, because of the fact that she helped me get off of benzodiazepines that I had been on for 22 years. And as soon as I was able to use my mind in the fullest capacity. So when you get Lyme, your brain swells and you can't use your mind the same way. And there's no solutions except for theirs. When their solution is the only solution that you know of, that creates conflict within people like us. I don't want to take something that is going to, the jab is what it's supposed to do is stop the bacteria from going inside of the body. It creates this barrier to not allow that bacteria to penetrate your red blood cells. But they're not telling you all the other things that you should also be doing, like taking the lymph kit, because they'll bite you and they'll say, oh, I'm not doing this. This is, I'm being proactive. So I believe what they've done is what they've done.
Wow. Well, time will tell. We will see, and we have to stay vigilant. And your products and your mission are clearly helping many, many, many people throughout the world. Kim, Worm Queen, thank you so much. This was fantastic stuff.
Thanks for having me, Nate.